Hello and thanks for joining us on the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We're live in Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. Thanks for joining us. Let's begin with the headlines. Multiple explosions, fire from tanker conveying inflammable materials along Abuja Kefi Road by Karo Bridge leaves dozens of vehicles in flames with fatalities.
Work together with all other stakeholders to ensure that we bring peace.
President Tinubu inaugurates Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Bass retired as Rivers State Administrator following state of the emergency declaration in Rivers.
In the month of Ramadan and in that last 10 days of the month.
And as Ramadan fast winds down, correspondent examines what last days symbolize and expectations from Muslims during sacred days intersecting with Night of Majesty. All right, let's begin with developments on the unfortunate incident that occurred last night at along the Abuja Kefi Road, as the number of fatalities is quite high, as multiple explosions and fire from a tanker conveying inflammable materials left dozens of vehicles in flames at the Abuja Kefi Road by Karo Bridge. Let's now join Abdullahi Ajia for an update on the scene of the incident. Abdullahi, it's over to you. What can you tell us this morning?
All right, thank you, Dennis, for having us. Well, we've been on ground since yesterday, and the latest here is that we're still on ground waiting for the completion of the evacuation of the carcasses of some of the vehicles affected by the accident and the fire. And also, we have security agencies and emergency responders who have been on ground cordoning the area to ensure that everything goes smoothly in order to free the road from traffic that started yesterday. But I have one key and critical stakeholder in terms of road issue, the Sector Commander FCT, Mutachuri, who will be giving us the latest of what they've been able to put together since yesterday till this moment. All right, sir, you've been on ground yesterday until this moment. Can you talk to the figures that you've been able to put together in terms of affected vehicles and also the casualties of human beings that we've recorded so far?
Yeah, what happened yesterday, let me first start by saying it's rather unfortunate. But so far, as at yesterday, by the time we finished removing people that are affected in the wreckages, we had 6 people dead. 4 were burnt beyond recognition, and then the other 2 we could recognize. In addition to several injuries, we could attend to about 25. You know, under such situations, so many vehicles were involved. We had about a total of 18 vehicles involved in all, 2 trailers, and 16 other smaller vehicles that were involved in all. And so here you can still see one of the trucks is still here. You're trying to make an effort to see if you can remove it. It's laden with cement, and because it's so heavy, the truck we have cannot be able to move it the way it is. So we're making an effort to see how we can evacuate the cement to be able to remove the carcass. And then we also make an effort to remove the other wreckages that have been, already been collected by the roadside at the moment. Let me take this privilege to also appreciate the Commercial. He was here personally yesterday to join us. He was here until 11 o'clock yesterday. He didn't come to do eyesight truly, I'll tell you, because he was here himself. He walked for 3 kilometers up and down the road trying to see how we can be able to open up the road. The whole of this road yesterday were all closed because of the fire. And so we had to close up the road. And so for us to open the road, it was really a very hectic responsibility, but we were able to do it sometime till late around 11 o'clock. And Commercial himself was here until this road was opened.
All right, Sector Commander, one issue I would also want you to respond with to is the issue of overwhelming crowd from that yesterday till this moment. So what would you say in terms of your appeal to onlookers who come, who don't have any business around, some of this emergency response coming to, hinder some of the evacuation?
Thank you so much. First, let me just say we are losing our humanity. When issues happen like this, people are laying on looking for help. What people do is to carry their gadgets, their phones, and begin to video, as if being the first to maybe throw it to social media makes them champions. We should be our brothers' keepers. I want to appreciate the police. Yesterday, they were here to be able to push back the crowd. We put cordoning tapes yesterday. If they are not for them, it will be difficult for us, as an agency alone, to be able to handle this alone. The fire service were here yesterday to put out the fire. And the other agencies were also here, in addition to these other agencies I've mentioned. So I want to appreciate all the agencies that were here yesterday to join us in this rescue services. I truly want to appreciate everyone.
All right, well, Sector Commander, I know the expectations of everyone, motorists, commuters, and residents, is that in no distant time, this carcass will be evacuated from the road so that the road will, be smooth and free for, traffic before the close of work today. What assurance are you giving us before we let you go?
We have already made contacts with necessary people that are going to evacuate the cement. And as soon as they do that, I can assure you the tow truck slept here yesterday. It will have been removed since yesterday if it were not for the fact that it's laden with cement. So as soon as the cement is evacuated, I can assure you that this wreckage will be out of here in the next maybe 2 to 3 hours. I assure you that.
Well, thank you, Sector Commander FCT-FRSC Mutachori, for talking to us and also giving us update in terms of figures and information. Well, before we even go, we have already towing truck of the VIO and has commenced work already to evacuate the ones he'll be able to evacuate, while we'll await the response to evacuate the one with the cement on the road. Well, for now, this is the update. We'll get you more as we continue to watch.
All right, Abdullahi, many thanks for giving us that update, and we'll certainly come back to you later for more updates. Now, joining us in the studio to talk more on this is the Core Public Education Officer of the FRSC, in person of Olusegun Ogungbemide. Thanks for joining us on the news at 10.
It's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we have to be talking about this, but tanker explosions have become quite a frequent occurrence of late, and there is need for serious attention. What exactly would the FRSC be doing differently to avert these ugly incidents?
Let me put the narrative straight first by saying what we had yesterday was not a tank explosion. The vehicles involved were not tankers, neither were they tanks or tankers carrying gas. It was a trailer carrying cement that lost control and ran into other vehicles and eventually led to explosion. And what amazed us is the gravity of the explosion witnessed, which the Corps Marshal has given the directive to our crash investigation team to go and confirm what actually transpired, and the moment the information gets to us, we'll make it available to the media. It's quite unfortunate because we've tried a great deal in curtailing this menace. According to the information made available to us yesterday, the trailer carrying cement was moving on a high speed at a slopey lane. So getting to other vehicles, trying to apply his brake, it became so impossible for him to do that. So whatever played out yesterday could be totally attributed to human error.
We've seen this time and time again, human error, speeding, overloading, things like that. So what sensitization drives can the FRSC do to actually press home this message that's obviously is not quite reaching the targeted audience?
The NTA as an established will always be a witness to Federal Road Safety Corps, because you've been a partner in progress for the past 35, that's 6 years of existence of FRSC. And with the great job you are doing with us and other stakeholders, you know, we never take the issue of public education for granted. It's not just a, by the way, part of our job, it's part of our heart, which we have taken very seriously, and we have continued to improve upon it over the years. But, you know, the transportation sector is quite dynamic. You have newcomers, you have news where we never say we have done enough. We're continually improving on our activities. But what I would really want to say about the incident of yesterday, that is also another avenue of public education, is the one that was just mentioned in the course of this interaction by the sector commander. The casualty level will have been minimal yesterday, if not for the onlookers that had no business being there. Either someone trying to video the incident or someone trying to express on unsolicited sympathy that has no bearing or had no value to the rescue operation. Because left to the rescue team, they will have been able to curtail the devastation that we witnessed yesterday. I'm very sure more than 50% of those that were affected were not occupants of that vehicle. But because of the explosion, those that were standing by created the problems. And those are the ones you saw. And additionally, you see some of the road users, the motorists, being recastrants when they were stopped by the emergency team. That there's a disaster here, there's an explosion here. Please take a minimal time, wait for the necessary evacuation to be made before you pass. Forgetting that any explosion, the magnitude or the latitude cannot be measured. It can go as far as you can imagine. So wherever you say you just want to make a smart one, it might not be as you propose. So we continue to tell members of the public, emergency will occur. It's an international, it's a worldwide thing. In as much as we try to curtail it when it happens, please stay away from the scene and save your lives.
Definitely, certainly needs to be more cooperation from the public in that regard. And just,
Exactly.
lastly, I understand there is a FCT law with regards to registration and times when trucks can be moving around in the FCT. How stringent is this law, and what else can be done?
Yeah, that's another line of review, because I'm very much aware that from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., articulated vehicles are not expected to move. They're expected to park and wait till their own normal time before they move. And for what played out yesterday is an indication that we still have windows where some compromises are still allowed. I think it's very necessary for us to go back to the drawing board. Maybe there's need for us to put in more stringent rules by maybe building barriers and also putting the necessary enforcement in place. But by and large, I think what is more important here is to make sure we have a safe motoring environment, irrespective of the time, where even if they are moving during the day, the tendency of getting involved in this kind of crashes are avoided. Because when we say we need to have minimum safety standard in place, the essence is even when you are moving in the midst of other road users, you should still be able to operate with minimum safety standard without compromising the safety of other road users.
Absolutely. All right, public education officer Olusegun Ogungbemi, many thanks for sharing your thoughts with us. And,
it's a pleasure to be here.
We hope to see less of these incidents going forward.
With
Thank you.
person.
All right, this is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We'll take a short break. More reports in a moment.
Celebrate Ramadan with Bafi and enjoy up to 40% off on selected products from living room, dining room, bedroom, and royal sets. Pay less, save more, and refresh your home for iftar gatherings and cherished moments with family and friends. Visit our showrooms in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu, or shop online to enjoy our exclusive Ramadan sale. Let's make this Ramadan unforgettable.
Welcome back. President Bola Tinubu has inaugurated Vice Admiral Ibok Ite-Bass, retired, as the administrator of Rivers State. This follows the state of emergency the president declared in Rivers State and the consequent suspension of the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and his deputy, Ngozi Odu. State House correspondent Musbah Damohab reports on this and the clarifications made by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice on the matter.
It has become inevitably compelling for me to invoke the provision of the Section 305 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State with effect from today, 18th March, year 2025, and I so do.
President Bola Tinubu took a rare decision, considering the political instability submerging Rivers State for too long. Here is the man chosen from a fellow Niger Delta state, Cross River, Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, to preside over the state for 6 months, the initial period of a state of emergency. President Bola Tinubu gave validity to his appointment by inaugurating him as the sole administrator of the state within this period. Not an event for speeches, but then President Bola Tinubu had in his broadcast expressed hope that this step would help to restore peace and order in the state, and the sole administrator promises to hit the ground running for this task.
First of all, I think we know the circumstances that led to where we are here, and Mr. President made it very clear in his broadcast. And if the main issue is that of maintaining law and order in the state, I think for any meaningful activities to take place in Rivers State, that is the utmost task that I have, to work together with all other stakeholders to ensure that we bring peace, order, and security and stability to the people and government of Rivers State and Nigeria at large.
64-year-old Vice Admiral Ibas served as the 22nd Chief of Naval Staff between 2015 and 2021, and later Nigerian High Commissioner to Ghana from 2021 to 2023, or under former President Muhammadu Buhari.
Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi had made clarifications on questions arising on the decision of the President. At a briefing organized by the presidential media team, the Attorney General pointed out that apart from the failure of the warring parties to reconcile, the political instability was also taking a dimension of national implications.
There was not a word dissuading the threat, the militants who issued this threat. In today's Nigeria, maybe with the efforts of the Mr. President, a Greek will come in, but as of today, we still rely largely on oil. For anyone to touch these pipelines, it's not only the enemy of rivers, it's the enemy of Nigeria. All Nigerians, all the 36 states share in what comes in from the production of this oil.
He insisted the decision is in the interest of the nation.
It shouldn't be about individual. It should not be about anybody. It should be about the entity called Nigeria. But in this case, the Rivers State. So it is Rivers State's turn today. It can be anybody's turn tomorrow. Let the signal be clearly sent for those who want to foment trouble, who want to make the practice of democracy and enjoyment of dividend of democracy a mirage, to think twice.
From the State House, Musbau Wahab, NT News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has implored lawmakers across the nation to enact relevant legislations that would enhance nutrition and food security to ensure that every household in Nigeria has access to the balanced diet required for a healthy and productive life. He was speaking when he met with the National Legislative Network on Nutrition and Food Security at the Presidential Villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrilla reports.
Nutrition 774 initiative holds the key to improve coordination, financing and accountability in ensuring that every mother and child has access to life-saving nutrition interventions tailored to their needs. This meeting therefore reaffirms the role of the legislature in making this initiative a success, essentially in reviewing key laws from maternity leave policies that support improved infant nutrition to the removal of multiple taxation on food produce to curb inflation.
For too long, our responses to malnutrition have been fragmented, donor-driven, and inconsistent. Nutrition 774 changes that. It is government-led, government-funded, and government-implemented because we understand that food security cannot be outsourced. This N774 initiative is a beautiful idea, but the most important thing is let's walk the talk. Let's mobilize resources.
The Conference of Speakers of the 36 State Houses of Assembly now have committees on nutrition and food security, guided by legislative reforms under consideration.
We believe that we need a synergy, we need that cooperation, we need the blessing and support of his office, so we can be able to achieve our common mandate, which is to make sure that food is not just available but is affordable.
As of today, we are happy with the initiative of the Office of the Vice President, which is the Nutrition 774, which we are equally tagging along.
The National Legislative Network on Nutrition has also strengthened the collective implementation of policy frameworks to build capacity on nutrition-related issues and the economic implication of nutrition. From the State House, Rahman Jibrila, NTA News.
The crisis in Rivers State, as concerning as it has become, can still be resolved through reconciliation and other means. This is the view of the Abuja School of Social and Political Thought, which says in the interest of democratic tenets and principles, all possible reconciliatory avenues must be fully exhausted. The school, however, understands the decision taken by President Bola Tinubu in declaring a state of emergency in Rivers State, given how long the period of crisis has lasted.
This crisis, as destabilizing as it is, and as distracting as it is to good governance, has not created a situation of breakdown of law and order. And therefore, this avoidable crisis and conflict between the executive and the legislature in Rivers State is amenable to resolution by other political means, including reconciliation, judicial determination, which the Supreme Court has done, and arbitration.
In other news, as the 1446 Ramadan fast winds down, correspondent Stockwell Abira takes a look at what the last days symbolize and what are expected of Muslims to observe during the sacred days that intersect with the Night of Majesty.
The holy month of Ramadan is one of the months in the Islamic lunar calendar, with many spiritual engagements and rewarding obligations to Allah. This is because, apart from being the month when the glorious Quran was revealed to mankind, the month also embodied many historic accuracy and plausible events in Islam. And the month is divided into 3 different folds. First 10, which represents endurance, second 10, mercy, and the last 10, forgiveness, all serving as opportunities to get closer to Allah.
These 10 days is very, very important to the life of every Muslim. The Quran itself was revealed in the month of Ramadan and in that last 10 days of the month.
Apart from these catalogues of spiritual rewards, at the heart of the month of Ramadan sits the Night of Majesty, which is equal to 1,000 nights.
ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر.
Then he is تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها. The angels are coming down to earth. A Muslim can make a special prayer between him and God in this last 10 days, and that prayers will be answered automatically.
To search for it in the last 10 days of the month, specifically the odd nights.
But if you are not having opportunity to do itikaf, you can find a masjid around you